back. We're going to put the spotlight right now on the heavy monsoons and the flood fury that's unfolding gradually across different states in our country. The worst hit, of course, currently are Maharashtra and Karnataka. Telangana too has been at the receiving end of very, very heavy rainfall and the after effects of that. So we're going to put the spotlight on that right now. So far, 48 people have lost their lives in rain-related incidents. Heavy flooding and landslides reported in multiple places in Maharashtra's Ratnagiri and Raigad districts. Ratnagiri and Raigad actually have been the worst affected districts as well. In Karnataka, there has been heavy damage after severe rains. 16,000 people have been affected. Over 8,000 so far have been evacuated. 3 lives have been lost. Streets, bridges, residential areas in districts of Belagavi and Kodagu heavily inundated. Even in Telangana, there is no immediate relief coming in for many of the districts. Alert by the Met Department right now for 12 different districts. NDRF and SDRF teams really deployed across these states. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the rescue and relief work that is going on. We're going to put a special spotlight right now also on Maharashtra and then Karnataka. Mayuresh and Shrija are joining me with the details. Mayuresh, I'm going to come to you first about, give us the details about the worst hit districts in Maharashtra and what's the status right now as far as the water level there is concerned.
Absolutely, Tanvi. The worst hit districts are two, that is Raigad, which is near Mumbai. It's just, you can say, 150, 170 kilometers away from the Mumbai. And second district is Ratnagiri. Since morning, we are showing our viewers how Ratnagiri's Chiplun town or the Lanza town was totally submerged since yesterday, and people were sending the SOS messages because they were stuck on the first floor because they could not stay on the ground floor as ground floor was completely submerged. On second part, if we talk about the Raigad, more than 3 landslide incidences have happened in Raigad itself, and that toll is approximately what we have been given to understand is right now 48, but the locals are saying that it may go up as the rescue operation is right now happening. If we talk about that, how many NDRF teams are there? Earlier in the day, there was somewhere around 14 NDRF teams, but now Maharashtra government has said that 8 new, or we can say 8 fresh NDRF teams have been deployed from the Bhubaneswar. So they will also get disbursed in different parts of Maharashtra, because Tanvi, now the news which we are getting is after Maharashtra government has decided to discharge the water from the Koyna dam, there is a chance that a flood-like situation may happen in western Maharashtra, which we had experienced 2 years back.
All right, Mayuresh, thanks so much for bringing us that. And before I go across to Shrija and Somit, who are also joining us from Karnataka and Telangana, let me quickly go across to Mr. Mohsin Shahidi, the Deputy Inspector General for Operations in NDRF. Mr. Shahidi, if I can begin to first ask you about the situation, in Maharashtra, we do know that 8 additional teams from Bhubaneswar have also been deployed here. But are you preparing for the worst to come? What is the information from Met and the state to you, especially in places like Chiplun, where it's been badly hit?
Yes, as of now, the situation today is under control because now the rain has abated at many places and the water has also receded. But the coming 2 days ahead, I think it will be tough because a lot of rescue and relief operations are yet to be attended. And taking note of that, we have in fact requisitioned additional troops. 4 of the teams are now coming early tomorrow from Kolkata and 4 more from Vadodara. This is in addition to 8 teams which were airlifted today from Bhubaneswar. So right now we have 26 teams working in Maharashtra and 8 more will be joining tomorrow early morning.
Let me also ask you specifically about Mahad, where we understand, Mr. Shahidi, that it's a bit of a challenge even for the relief authorities. Why is that? Can you explain to us, and how are you going about the rescue operations there?
Yes, in fact, we had at least 3 major landslide incidents. And in Mahar, the major accident that has happened is a landslide which has engulfed about 30 to 32 houses which were placed at the foothills, and some 70 odd people are reported to be buried in the debris. And as I say this, the information that I have is 33 bodies have been recovered, but 37 still are missing. So that's a very tough task, and because the area is very, very vast, and because of the flood, the water, we need actually heavy machinery to clear all this debris. That is a very time-taking and tedious process.
Okay, there have been some comments that have been made by the local authorities itself. In fact, the Chiplun collector also said that the situation there was partially man-made. Do you believe that a lot of, what you're seeing on ground as you go about doing the rescue operations does indicate that a lot of the loss of life we are looking at is because it's a man-made disaster?
It will be difficult to comment at this stage because, our focus now is on rescue and relief operations. When our troops, in fact, were in the process of the induction, now at that point of time only, we faced a lot of problems, like the troops moving, and then we encountered, inundated roads, then the boulders, trees, uprooted trees on the roads, and our troops had to get down and remove the trees, the boulders, and then move forward. So it was a very time-taking process. Then the other issue was, the communication network, which was disrupted at many places. So we actually did not get the distress calls, which normally we do. And of course, the incessant rains that have lashed continuously, intermittently, that also has been a hindrance in our work. But we have ensured that work is never stopped, and 24/7 our troops are on the job. It will take some time.
Yes, understandable. But thank you so much for joining us and sharing all these updates with us. And I hope that your teams on ground are able to pull out everybody and take them to safety. Thank you so much, Mr. Shahidi, for joining us. Let me go across to Shrija to quickly get an update on Karnataka, and then to Somit on Telangana as well. Shrija, first to you, what are the worst hit areas and what's the prediction there even for the coming 24 hours?
After Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa held a video conference with the district collectors, they have identified at least 6 of the districts that have been affected, worst affected districts with torrential rains over the last 2 days. Some of the districts to be named are Belagavi district, Uttar Kannada district, Shivamogga, Haveri, Chikmagalur, Dharwad. Now, these are some of the districts that have been adversely affected by the torrential rains over the past 2 days, and also the loss and damages as reported by the Karnataka Disaster Management. What they tell us is that they have already set up nearly 80 relief camps, which means in these 80 relief camps, nearly 4,900 persons have already been moved into these relief camps. So what comes as a challenge here is to ensure, remember, we are in the pandemic, and also to ensure that there is no outbreak of the coronavirus. Now, Health Minister Sudhakar has also issued instructions to health officials to ensure that COVID protocols are also being maintained at these relief camps. Was also important to understand in the loss and damage as far as the rains in Karnataka. So far, 3 human lives have been lost, and a total of 804 houses have been partially damaged, which means nearly 131 villages have been affected due to these torrential rains. So some of the districts that have been reporting heavy rainfall is, for example, Karwar district. The gates of Kadra Dam in Karwar opened up to release the excess water, following which the entire area was completely inundated. There were NDRF teams working on ground to bring the people to safety. And if you're really going by the visuals, you can see also people wading through the water. And the Kadra Dam authorities, they discharged nearly 40,000 cusecs of water in Kali River. This is all Thursday. So that is one of the reasons why we saw Karwar, most of the villages were completely inundated. Then we also came across Chikmagalur district due to the rains continuously lashing. Chikmagalur district, most of the arterial roads and bridges had also collapsed. The arterial roads were also completely cut off for the connectivity for people to commute.
All right, Shrija. So that's as far as the situation in various parts of Karnataka is concerned. Thanks so much for joining us. We of course constantly been reporting from the various districts as more and more visuals and even updates of rescue operations come in. Though a larger part of the damage right now has been in Maharashtra in terms of loss of life and otherwise as well. But Karnataka too has seen a trail of devastation wherever the water has now begun to subside. The third state, of course, is Telangana, where there still exists a high alert from the Met Department in terms of heavy rainfall. The dams have already, filled up to the top and have begun to overflow. So some of those dams have also opened, which by itself then means that there will be heavy flooding downstream, and people need to be made aware of that as well. So the third state, which is right now facing this monsoon fury, is the state of Telangana. And in Telangana, it will be interesting to also see how the situation develops tomorrow as well. Authorities are on high alert. NDRF teams have been deployed across these three states. Let me go across to Shamit, who is joining me from Hyderabad with the details right now. Shamit, give us an update on what is the situation in Telangana in the worst districts because of these heavy rainfalls.
Well, after incessant rainfalls in last 2-3 days, the worst affected district is Nirmal district, Adilabad and Nizamabad districts. The Chief Minister has yesterday instructed the CS to deploy the NDRF and SDRF teams to these three districts. And we have also paid a visit to Nirmal district, and where we have also visited the worst affected areas. 4 sites, as said by the collector, was affected in this district. And yesterday, SDRF teams have rescued over 350 people from their residences and the low-lying areas on time, saving many lives. And also many livelihoods have been came to standstill after water entered into their residences. And due to heavy inflow of water into the water projects in Telangana from neighboring district Maharashtra, because even high floods have been reported there, heavy rainfalls have been reported there. Due to that, water have been the inflow was high, and the water entered into the residences and entered into several colonies in the Nirmal district. However, NDRF has reached, and till then SDRF and local fishermen have, along with the local administration and police, rescued several people, and over 250 people kept in the rehabilitation center till now. And the administration have been providing them shelter, food, and everything. And even the Chief Minister has asked all the public representatives and public officers to be on high alert in the state, because the IMD department has predicted heavy to very heavy rainfalls for coming 48 hours. This is the situation in Telangana, and even in Andhra Pradesh, the Chief Minister has asked the public officers to be on high alert, because IMD has predicted heavy rainfalls in Andhra Pradesh too.
All right, Somit, thanks so much for bringing us those updates. In fact, thanks to Mayuresh, Shrija and Somit, keeping a close track on the developing situation in Maharashtra, Karnataka and Telangana. We're going to take a quick break. 2 important debates lined up on the other side at 9 p.m. Stay with me.